Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. We're going to be talking about Sephiroth, his new featured banner, all his wish listing, his team setup, and I'm going to showcase a maxed out version of him at the end of the video as well, so you guys can get an idea of his power. Here's a really quick rundown though. If you have Wind Cloud, you can skip this, especially if you're planning to pull for more cloud weapons, especially when his ultimate weapon comes out and his exploit weapon comes out. It's going to be just as strong as Sephiroth, right? This comes with Enfeeble built into it. Other characters can do Enfeeble, Sid and Kate Sith, and later on more support healer characters are most likely going to be able to do it too. So Enfeeble isn't a make or break on this weapon, just because other characters can apply that, and then allowing Sephiroth or Cloud in the future to be the same exact strength essentially, because their potency is around the same mark. So if you have Cloud and you've got his setup, just wait for his exploit weapon and boom, your magic wind setup is complete. Now, if you don't have it, then it's one of those situations, yeah, really look into this because the weapon's good. It guarantees you a copy now. You don't have to fool around with tickets, wish listing, maybe getting it, weapon parts, dailies, and slowly getting OB10. First page on this gives you 2 copies, and then you get a really good costume along with it. It is a featured banner, so again, you can wish list this weapon. I don't really recommend pulling on these banners anymore with how powerful limited weapons have become. Applebot or Square did it to themselves when it comes to the idea of like, yeah, here's a really cool banner, here's a really cool character, but they've made limited weapons so powerful that it's hard to justify spending any blue crystals on a non-limited weapon. It's really hard. This is a very good first step towards it. The very big pull incentive here is that the actual pull system, the stamp card, has these new gear medals that you can get weapon parts from or past costumes that are really decent and pretty good. So it gives you more incentive because you're getting a lot of weapon parts to any character you want, and you're also getting a new costume, a new weapon. So the feature banner looks better now compared to the limited ones, because now those weapon parts can go towards limited banners and other weapons. So altogether, it is one of those like you can skip. This is just a wind DPS. I'm going to go into more detail. But if you need a magic wind, I wouldn't sleep on this one, especially if you didn't get Cloud. Sorry, my camera's really big because I played Clair Obscur Expedition 33 last night. And I beat the main story. I'm not going to talk about it because spoilers galore, but oh my god, what a game. So let's jump into Sephiroth. Let's talk about his costume, which is a key point here. If you are pulling for this, you're pulling for the costume. Weapon is wishlistable. We got physic, magic, defense 15%, HP 15% over here as well. So there is huge survivability on a DPS, which makes content so much easier to do, and this guy is packed loaded with it. Then on top of it, we get wind ability damage 30%, and anything that does magic ability damage will get a boost of 20% because your attack stance command gauge is full. So 50% increase in damage, 15% on survivability for everything, and that is an incredible costume. And a lot of people pointed out he looks like a Metal Gear Solid costume, Cyberpunk 2077, or just Cyberpunk in general. Really cool, really overall good design, especially the upper part, and the sword looks great, but the pants are still plain. I guess you don't want too much going on either, but the pants into the high socks, into the basic sneakers, yeah. That is something. So costume wise, I think that looks fantastic. Weapon looks really, really good. This thing is really dumb powerful. 4639 R abilities, triangle sigil, 674 magic with 1120 magic wind potency on a single enemy for 4 ATB with no condition is fantastic damage, especially for a character like Sephiroth who has an exploit weapon. You are going to dish out a ton of magic wind damage. He's taking #1 priority slot right now in magic wind. He will be on par with Cloud later on once he gets his exploit weapon. The kicker here is that also when HP is 50% or more, you get Enfeeble only for 30 seconds compared to, I believe, the other guys do 60 seconds, but you get an extension of 10 seconds every time you use this ability. So in that 30 seconds, you're going to have a total of 50 before you have to reapply it. So, or even close to the same thing, because as long as you're spamming this ability, but we are going to stop to do exploit, and then we're going to come back to this weapon. So there isn't going to just be spam, spam, spam. We have to keep reapplying exploit if we have that weapon. So yeah, no, incredibly good weapon. Just one copy just for the Enfeeble will help with all his other setups. As long as you don't have his setup where it's the year and a half, the Odin one, the worthy one. If you got the worthy one that has the Omni 30% on every element and attack boost all to all allies, you are really, really safe using a setup where you utilize all his other weapons. But if you have his exploit weapon in this Enfeeble, you're stuck with using one or the other. So let's say this is the only problem I have with this weapon, is that Enfeeble is great if he's supporting DPS. He has other options. So if you're going to do wish list, right, and you have extra slots here, definitely go for his other weapons. But let's say take Silver Tempest here, or just Tempest, for example. It does physical water damage, 700%, and it lowers water resist. Great. Enfeeble is going to make that from high to the next tier up, making that debuff that much stronger, and your other allies can also DPS like crazy. So if you're playing with someone that is also physical water, and he's your sub DPS while doing good damage, he's adding that Enfeeble, great. But if you're trying to also use Enfeeble and Exploit and this water, we don't hold 3 weapons, we only hold 2 weapons. So you have to choose between Exploit or Enfeeble. So if you're someone who has the Exploit weapon, this new weapon's only good for the win setup, because you can't use anything else. You're doing Exploit and Enfeeble while doing damage, period. So if you grab Tempest and you grab this new weapon, no Exploit for you, but you do count as a sub DPS. So if you don't have the Exploit, and even some cases when you do have Exploit, Sephiroth coming in with his new weapon, right, doing Enfeeble, and now he has so many options for supporting other DPSs. So fire resist down, Enfeeble, boom, your main DPS does more damage. Sephiroth's not there to do max damage, he's there to make sure your main DPS does max damage. So even with Exploit, you can still kind of justify having both weapons, but that's the idea. Earth resist down, right, water resist down, you got fire resist down. So there's a lot going on here. Wind damage is increased, not that one. Enfeeble is only for debuffs. So yeah, he is a very strong support DPS. So even just with one copy, the fact that he could put Enfeeble on there, I believe at OB1 it's 22 seconds, still really, really good, right? Add the resist down while doing damage and Enfeeble to make sure your main DPS does maximum damage. So no matter what, this is a great weapon to wishlist later. It's a great weapon to pick up now if you want guaranteed copies of it, including his new costume, which is going to be really strong in survivability. 15% to everything and 20% towards any magic build he has. If you're someone who missed a lot of his costumes, this attack stance command gauge automatically gives you 20 to anything with survivability. So that might come in clutch, but this is mainly for a win setup. So again, if you have a magic win setup that's working for you, especially Clouds, once he gets Exploit, it's going to be the same. And if you already spent on Cloud, no big deal. You don't have to go for this. It's just one of those really nice things to see a wish list Enfeeble entered into the game. So I do think that if you don't want to wait for the collaboration coming out for everything that's happening, we're going to have a rerun of Final Fantasy VI. We're going to have, what was it? Not Monster Hunter. Dragon Quest collaboration, other things happening. It's very hard to like go, ooh, featured banner when limited banners, right? But the one incentive here is the stamp card. Like I said, if you do pull here, exposing myself a little bit, I did pull, you get these download tokens, and they are really, really good. I hope they do more of this in the future. So if you go over here to the 11 million download, you've got the choice of getting Old Murasami or Edgewings. All of these costumes, their first ability was increased by 10 points. So if we look at Edgewings, it's now at 10 magic instead of 5, which is not a big deal, but these are still Arcanums. They're still 35% increase, especially if you don't have the resources to pull for all the new 50% ones like current Sephiroth. But for utility-wise, I would say Barret and Red 13, really good choices. I've done the content without costumes on them, and I've used both characters. They're perfectly fine, but they definitely help out. Buff, debuffed extension, right? And then Barret's Electro Armor is still one of his best ones besides the Dragon one. So if you're not really tanking, you need more survivability. They added 5 more points here, giving him that 30% increase the HP with all that defense. So still a really solid costume. But the key here is that while you're polling, you get weapon parts. And I think this is really good, right? Obviously, you're going to go for Tifa, Aerith first because they have the most limited weapons in the game. At the moment, I still have weapons I need to increase. So the more of these weapon parts I get, the better. Like I personally wouldn't be going out of my way to pick up these guys' weapon parts, Glenn, Matt, Lucia, because I don't play them. But if they have a limited weapon I really need for someone else's backhand, then yeah, of course I'll get it. But yeah, for the most part, I'm going to be grabbing Tifa, Aerith, and then my favorite, Vincent, to just really utilize all these weapon parts. So hopefully this is not just for the 11 million download. They're kind of testing the waters, like, you know what? More people pull on featured because we also offered incentives towards their overall gameplay. This is a choice now. We have a choice where our power goes versus here's a bunch of weapons you already have OB10. Or you have a choice of getting a costume you missed. So I hope they keep this kind of stuff on your every standard featured banner. It's just so good. Now, the other reason to really pull on this is that as you're pulling the gems you're getting, the Mako gems, you're going to be getting this 11 million download celebration, which can be exchanged for any weapon. So if you're someone who's sitting on Aerith and you have like 240 Aerith Mako gems, and you're like, man, I missed the Princess Guard. Okay, well, you get 60 of these, you get, boom, Princess Guard, 60, and done, right? That was 10 pulls, and you're good to go. Or sorry, 6 pulls. So, yeah, there's 2 good incentives. Weapon parts, old costumes, and Mako gems that allow you to pull for any of the previous weapons, which is really, really good. Speaking of which, there is a new Matt one for his ultimate weapon. It is fantastic, actually. It makes him really, really strong. It gives 40% healing to all allies. Haste is applied for 15 seconds, all allies, and it amplifies his healing from 50%. That is a crazy amount of heals. It has 2 uses, and it also got ATB boost all allies, and there's a lot of scenarios where having plus 2 ATB at the start of battle lets you set up your party very quickly. But after that, it's pretty much a dead R ability, so it's only good if you really have to like get in there quick, like Ifrit's EX2 fight. You have to break those sigils right away or you get hurt, so you have to like pump up Red 13 with a bunch of ATB boosts, where now he just gives it to the party passively. But I think, yeah, overall, really, really good ultimate weapon. The haste with heal, major healing. He's going to have clutch moments where he's going to save the party. So definitely Matt looking like a better healer these days. Anything, even with his like Centipede or something, one of his lower cast healing weapons that are very quick, less ATB costs. But with that ultimate weapon triggered, they're going to just full heal the party. So really, really good thing. So overall, I think it's a great weapon, a great costume. It is specifically towards wind, but if you want the weapon later on, that is a great weapon to have in his kit, period. So it is a very good skip banner, but for someone like myself where I don't have magic wind, it was a great incentive to have Mako gems in any weapon I want for the ultimate weapons. It was great to grab weapon parts for any character I want, while also grabbing a really good weapon and a costume for a character I have an exploit build on. Just makes him so much stronger, and I don't have to try to pull for all these different characters. So now I have Enfeeble on a character that's always going to be on the team, and if I need to throw in there beside his exploit, I have that option now. So that was my reasoning why I pulled for it. Let's jump into a little bit of gameplay here and show you his entire damage output, because it's really, really good. I know I went to the end screen. I was about to end the video. I'm like, wait a minute. I promised you guys. And then there's also the wish list I'll show you as well. All right, we're going to switch over to Sephiroth. Sephiroth, he's going to do his exploit. He now has exploit weakness on him. We're going to wait till he goes fully buffed. And then we're going to grab our Rampage Twister, which you're going to see that Wind Resist is going to get a bar around it because now the enemy has Enfeeble. So now we have 4 tiers of Magic Resist down, if you want to think about it that way, and 3 tiers of Wind Resist down. So now Wind Resist should be fully maxed out, and same thing with that. Sephiroth popping out 3,330,000, I think I just saw. Hopefully they don't attack at the same time. Nope, I can't see. Here, let's buff ourselves with this as well. And then go for the big hit. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. And then, of course, we add our tuner in there. We still have exploit. We have 4 tiers. Yeah. And then we've got ourselves an Odin attack. It's just so much damage. I like those 2 to stop hitting, please. There we go. All right, we're going to grab Odin here while we have the 2 seconds. Sure, we'll throw Hellfire in there. Just make the amplifier a little bit better. Odin doing his 1 big hit. Boom. at 4,977,000 damage. And then, of course, Hellfire is just there. So that's with the Enfeeble, with Magic Disc down, Wind Resist down, and then just him doing his own thing. He currently doesn't have Exploit on, though, so that definitely would have been more. But that's a little bit of a showcase, just to show you what Sephiroth's doing. He's not as strong as Tifa's physical wind setup. So Tifa's still taking the top place for wind DPS, but physical and magical are both needed in this game. So it's not like if you have one, you're set for everything. There's going to be plenty of things you can't do. So let's go jump into the wish list. For Sephiroth, if you are doing this wish listing, you definitely want Partisan in his build. This plus his new weapon equals max wind. Then you throw in sawed-off shotgun over here with... If you do Shinra Blade, because you don't have the exploit weapon of his offhand, this gives you boost attack as well with boost ability potency, and then you top it off with something like Crystal Megaphone for that boost magic ability potency as well with more boost attack. So you're maxed out. Obviously, limited weapons are better. If you have the magic attack all weapons with the magic attack stance ones, go for that. Another option you can use is Mystic Sword if you just want that boost attack and ability potency because you have enough of the other one. But the key ones here are Partisan and Sawed-Off Shotgun for the entire build, because you just go Exploit Weapon, his new weapon, that's going to be his front hand, Partisan in the back, Sawed-Off Shotgun, and then an Attack All weapon. You can even use 2 Magic Attack All weapons, like Bahamut Fangs, like I currently have. That's what I'm using for my Sephiroth. So if I go to Tifa over here, and then anyone actually, any single one you have that's like this. This is just me showing you an example. As long as it has this, boost magic attack all allies, boost magic ability potency up. Sephiroth also has his own limited weapon with these same R abilities, but that's what you're going to use with the Sawed Off and the Partisan from Sid, making him a really, really strong magic wind DPS setup. Fantastic character. They did say they want to make Cloud, Sephiroth, and Aerith stronger again. Or not Aerith. I think they did. They specifically said Sephiroth and Cloud. They noticed like, oh man, they need to do better. So feature banners. I'm really glad that there's some good power in the feature banners now. So very good chance. But let me know what you think of everything on the whole new stamp card, ultimate weapon for Matt. What do you think of Sephiroth's setup? Personally, again, it's skippable like many feature banners just because of how important limited banners are. But that doesn't downgrade how strong this setup is. But that's pretty much everything. Thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.